If y'all seen my all races or OP video in Xenoverse 2, then you would know that I mentioned that I would make a transformation race. Transformation video as well, stating not every transformation is OP in a sense, but basically detailing each transformation and which one is actually the best. Now, as you can see, like being best is different in some scenarios, but I'm gonna just make an overall view and description over each one and detail it as much as I can, because I know a bunch of people at the beginning of the game, a bunch of YouTubers, fucking shout out videos about the best transformation and the best race and all that shit, even though we didn't have that much information about it. But I was being patient because I'm not a view whore or a sub whore. Um, so I waited a couple months, see what else we can fucking figure out and everything. And since basically almost everything is basically explained and found out or whatever, I can actually make a accurate assumption and opinion about the fucking transformations and the races. So here goes. First off, it's the Nimbus one. It's on the screen right now. So with the Nimbus Cloud, at the beginning in the beta, it was quite cancerous because people didn't know how to deal with it. So that's why I waited, because I know a lot of YouTubers were saying it was the most OP transformation, even though you can just grab them out of it or double burst dash them, unless they have that super soul. So yeah, as you can see, like it's not really OP. It's just how you use it. Of course, when you're in it, everybody knows it has an infinite combo. But however, if somebody does it, all it takes is like one block in their combo or like one perfect block and they're fucking done. Basically against 99% of the community, unless you know how to use it, like certain people. Um, but yeah, like all it takes is one mess up on the Nimbus and you're off of it. The best thing about the Nimbus is it takes no bars of key, so you can literally do it from the start of the match, even when you have zero key. All right. And you can instantly get back on it as many times as you want. The thing is, you would have to knock away then do it. So if somebody just like you do it in front of somebody, they can just grab you out of it. Like it's nothing serious. So yeah, the Nimbus Cloud is pretty good. You can still burst dash on it, which is very useful. They're full squares like poke hits. Some people might not think it's useful, but there's ways to use it. Trust me, they have their own back hit as well. And like I mentioned before, a lot of the animation for the attack on the Nimbus Cloud is very similar to Dragon Ball Online. The square hits, the combos in general. So yeah, they could have made the Nimbus Cloud a lot better. I'll be honest with you. I'm telling you this right now. They could have made it a lot better. More combo strings and whatnot, because there's basically only one combo string you can do with it, and there's not much else you can do with the other inputs, like the square hit with the little multi pokes. That's not really anything. And even their circle, it's like a charge. You can charge the circle, but it doesn't even break the opponent's guard. So like there's no way to break somebody's guard if they're doing an ultimate. And even when you do the charge hit, it doesn't do any more damage than just a regular circle attack on the Nimbus. So yeah, that's my description of the Nimbus. It's a pretty good transformation. You can use it depending on how you use it, but you can. Next we got Kaioken, and so this is pretty underrated transformation. Regular Kaioken makes, of course, when you're in any stage of Kaioken, you take more damage, but the more stages you increase, the more damage you take. So the special thing about Kaioken, it's a power up. Gives similar around the same power up as Potential Unleash and Super Saiyan. But the thing is, it has a little specialty. Like I said, it's strategic, more tactical. You do take more damage while you're in it, but your stamina, it's more of a stamina thing, alright? So when you're in regular Kaioken or just the base Kaioken, all your advantage costs 1.5 bars instead of an entire one. When you're at ×3, it costs a half a bar. So no, it costs 1 bar. I'm sorry. It costs 1 bar of stamina to vanish when you're in Kaioken ×3. Alright? And when you're in Kaioken ×20, you can vanish an unlimited amount of times. But the thing about it is, it's not like Xenoverse 1 where you had an unlimited amount of evasives. No, it's just an unlimited amount of vanishes. So yeah, that's some people do. And they also use it with the I've been saving this one, Kaioken Super Soul, which when you're in it, when you're using that Super Soul with the regular Kaioken, the stamina regen is basically not even, like, you still regen stamina, but it's not noticeable. When you're in Kaioken ×3 with the Super Soul, your stamina is stagnant. That means you don't lose any stamina, so it's like basically dead even. And when you're in Kaioken ×20, your stamina regen is going down, but it's a lot slower than as if you didn't have the Super Soul on. And Kaioken ×1, this is a little iffy, but I believe the damage increase is to all stats. I know that for sure, but as to how much, I believe Kaioken is like 5% times 3 is 10%, and times 20 is 15%, or 13%. It's somewhere around Potential Unleashed. I know that for sure. Now, the next transformation is Potential Unleashed, and so this is a pretty basic transformation, the most basic transformation in the game. It costs 5 bars a key to activate, which isn't really hard to get. Super Saiyan 3 costs 5, so but they're not even at all. Super Saiyan gives a 20%. Super Saiyan 3 gives a 20% increase to melee and basic attack. So basically, basic attack and strike supers. And Potential Unleashed gives like a 13 to 15%, somewhere around Super Saiyan 2 level of increase to all attacks. All right. And the thing is, it's easier to activate. It doesn't stagnate your key, so you can still gain key while you're in Potential Unleashed. So definitely, in my opinion, it's one of the best transformations in the game. It's pretty plain, since it wasn't Xeno 1, it was just called something else. It was called Unlock Potential, but now it's Potential Unleashed. Basically, I don't know why they didn't give us the Gohan stance while we're in it. That would have been nice to add in. They gave it for Super Saiyan 3. They gave it for Golden Form or whatever. But yeah, it would have been nice. But the thing is about Potential Unleashed, there's nothing really special to it. It's not no strategic or advantage thing. Even with Super Saiyan and Golden Form, they give you something different. But this one is just a plain power up. Doesn't change the way you fight at all, except the amount of damage you do. Alright, so as for that, it's my least favorite, but it is probably, in my opinion, the best transformation in the game. Up next, we got Purification. So I already made a video about Purification. I've been knowing about Purification since the beginning of the game. So all that block spamming stuff, I've been knowing about that. I just didn't abuse it. Like I said, I try to uncancerize the community, but unfortunately, my efforts have been raided by other YouTubers. But aside from that, the Purification form gives the same damage increase to all stats as Potential Unleashed. So that's about 13 to 15%. It does change the way you fight, which is the reason why it's one of my favorite transformations. Simply because it changes everything. Granted, you do have Kid Boost combos, but as for that, that's the only thing that's the same. Your block is different, your Ki Blast is different. It does give you the same moves, which I can kind of agree with, because the way Purification is, if you already know about it, imagine that with Punisher Drive, Fake Death, Aura Slide, all that other shit, Rise to Action. Yeah, it wouldn't be as good. It wouldn't be, well, I would say it'd be better, and not better for the community, but it would be better. But I like how they have it so far. Maybe they could have added something different, because I really don't like maximum charge on my preset. There's no reason to have it. But yeah, some special things about Purification. If you hold down the square, it's an automatic guard break, and it does a bunch of damage, and it makes you go super fast. If you're flying around, boost dashing around, and hold down square, it makes you go faster as well. But it does consume ki. Stamina, your stamina regen in Purification, it is slightly decreasing, but that's not really a problem, because Purification before used to be complete ass. They buffed it, which I'm pretty happy about. The block, like I already said, gives you pure invincibility frames. It can be countered though, and if it becomes a problem, I will make a video about it, because I already know a situation. I might make a video about it to begin with, just to inform, because I like helping out stuff. The circle hit, the Ki Blast for Purification is like kicks, and you can juggle with it, so you can constantly do it, and they won't be able to recover out of it. So after every combo, you can do it. Their triangle is basically a burst dash, and if you double tap triangle, it's basically a double burst dash. So yeah, they got free burst dashes, as you can see. Their sidestep is basically them rolling around in a ball, which has a bunch of invincibility frames. So the transformation would be a lot better if the hit detection was better. But yeah, it's a pretty good transformation. But up next, we got the Giant transformation, or Giant form. And if you played the Xenoverse 2 beta, you know how cancerous this was. And even at the beginning of Xenoverse 2, I looked back at my older videos to see if the damage was the same, and I don't believe the damage has changed in Giant form. I think the only thing that's changed is the stamina damage, and that's how much stamina they lose. So like the stamina drain, if you hit them with a super, how much it drains. Because back then in the beta at the beginning of the game, they could tank like 3-4 ultimates, alright? And now you hit them with like a charged Ki Blast, that's like all their stamina going right there. So yeah, the Giant transformation, it did get a very hard nerf. I think it was needed, but they need to buff it a little. Now, not to where it was before. They don't necessarily need to buff the damage, because it's good damage, I guarantee you. Especially if you have like a 125 basic fucking maxed out Super Soul or whatever on your Namekian. The damage output is really good. The stamina thing, however, is the problem. Now, I know they did put Evil War, which Evil Roar is meant to block attacks, but it doesn't block ultimates, it blocks supers, alright? So before someone hits you with a super attack or a charge, key blast or whatever, you use Evil Roar and it blocks all of that. Alright, of course they have their move sets, which is the key blast cannon, the cannon whatever, mid range, long range, short range. That's pretty much explanatory. And they do have down combos, and like I'm showing in the video, you can do an infinite with them. It's not really cancerous or anything, but it only works close to the ground, but it is effective. At the beginning of that part, this little segment, when you notice when they're on the ground, it pretty much steps them back. But yeah, the giant transformation isn't necessary. It is useful. It's very useful against basic attackers if they have no moves on or whatever. But yeah, it is useful. It just needs a slight buff to where the stamina damage or the stamina drain isn't as high. I would appreciate that so more people could use it, and I can see that, because it really is my favorite transformation because it's so unique. It makes you turn big. Like, who doesn't want that? Now as for the damage increase on giant form, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure if you could calculate the in base form the grabs with the giant form grab. That could be a way, in a sense, to calculate how much of the damage increase it is, but it might be somewhere. It's pretty high, to be honest. I'll calculate it one day to see and make an even more detailed version if I can find out more stuff about it. Up next, we got the Super Saiyan form, and I will talk about all of them. So first up is Super Vegeta. It's just like the same thing. It's not the same power increase as the first game, but the difference between Super Vegeta and Super Saiyan is that it increases your Ki Blast power instead of your melee attacks in basic. Alright, so recently they buffed the transformation speed, so it's faster to get off. The thing about Super Vegeta, it does have the same setbacks. You can't really gain as much Ki just by fighting in Super Vegeta, so you kind of need maximum charge or either perfect block or something like that, or like drain charge or hyper drain. And I will say drain charge is really useful because it drains 5 bars of the opponent's Ki. So yeah, that's a lot. That's a big buff from Xenoverse 1, where it only drained about 2-3 bars of Ki. Was basically useless, to be honest. But yeah, Super Vegeta, basically just a power up. It gives you this is the thing with Super Saiyans, whenever they charge triangle or charge like specific moves like Big Bang Kamehameha, Time Stick Kamehameha, when they charge it up all the way, you can teleport with it too. So yeah, that's another special thing, but aside from that, it's pretty basic. It gives a speed increase. And the thing about Super Vegeta, just like Super Saiyan, except with Super Vegeta, it gives you a defense boost, alright? So with Super Vegeta, it boosts your defense against Ki Blast supers. Alright, but the thing with Super Saiyan, it boosts your defense against strike supers, basic attacks, stuff like that. So it does have a strategic and sort of tactical standpoint from it, and it can be used in more than just power-up ways. Now with Future Super Saiyan, nothing really special about it. It's basically like Super Saiyan 1 that you can't progress to, so instead of going to Future Super Saiyan Grade 2 and whatever, you can just stay at Future Super Saiyan. The transformation animation is a lot faster, and it is different. It takes 3 bars of Ki to activate, so it's basically Super Saiyan 1 except faster to activate, and you can't progress any farther with it. And Super Saiyan is basically the same, like I just said. Super Saiyan, you can progress to Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 1 gives a 10% increase to basic and strike. Super Saiyan 2 gives a 15%, and Super Saiyan 3 is a 20%. Not sure what the defense buff is, but it's probably somewhere around that. Like Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 3 might give a 10 to 15% damage decrease that you take. So yeah, Super Saiyan can really be used, and like I said before, a strategic way. It has setbacks, so when you're in Super Saiyan 3, you really gain no Ki at all. So you really either need maximum charge, drain charge, hyper drain, or perfect blocks in general. And if you want to be creative or something, use like drain field or something. If you can get it off, if you even need it. Most people just perfect block instead. And next transformation, it's going to be the last one, is the golden transformation, golden form. Now I know it gives a speed boost. Not sure what the speed boost is, but it does give a rather large speed boost, especially when you're at low health as well with a Freezer race. God forbid if you have a Super Soul with it too. Fastest in the universe. 20% speed increase. But yeah, it also changes. Most notable thing about golden form, it changes your Ki Blast. So just the regular circle is just purple Ki Blast. It's very quick. It does more damage. But the charge key blast is the one they recently nerfed. And before, like at the beginning of the game, it did a shit ton more damage than it does now. So just know it could have been worse. But yeah, it's very quick. That charge key blast is very quick. It does, on average, about 2,000 damage at the least. So it does 2,000 damage at the least. As you can see, that can quickly add up, especially when you're in combo. So if a basic attacker is going against you with that, it's going to do more damage, guaranteeing it. The best thing about Golden Form, it gives a very large boost to Key Blast Supers. It gives a 35% boost. But the downside about it is, there's really no downside to it except this. It gives a defense thing. It gives a increase to your defense, the amount of damage you take. All right, not an increase, a decrease. So you take 10% more damage. But the thing about it is, only takes 3 bars of key to activate. Very sort of fast, and the payoff is really good. So if you worried about the defense or whatever, just use do or die with it, and that defense little decrease that you got, that defense debuff, it really goes out the fucking window. You'll be taking regular damage once you activate that. Or you can use a super soul with it. But yeah, that's my video about the transformations. I'm running out of clips here, so I can't really pause or anything. Have to keep going. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Leave a comment. Let me know what y'all thought. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and I'll catch y'all later.